Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Jai Dvaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Jai Dvaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Today is the disappearance day of Haridas Thakur, so I am reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, from Antilila, text 105. Yes, you can repeat after me. Sorry. Mahabhagavata Hari Dasa Parama Vidvan. Hey Saubhagya lagi hage karila prayana. Mahabhagavan Hari Dasa Parama Vidwan. E saubhagya lagi age karila prayana. Mahabhagavata Haridasa Parama Vidwan. E saubhagya lagi age karila prayana. Madhjis. Please repeat. Mahabhagavata, great devotee, Haridas Thakura, Parama Vidwan. Haridasa, Haridas Thakura, Parama Vidwan, the most learned. A Saubhagya Lagi. Because of his great fortune, Age, first, Karila Prayana, he passed away. Translation. Haridas Thakura was not only the topmost devotee of the Lord, but also great and learned scholar. It was his great fortune that he passed away before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Please repeat. Haridas Thakura was not only the topmost devotee of the Lord, but also a great and learned scholar. It was his great fortune that he passed away before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Translation and purport by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Haridasa Thakura is mentioned here as the most learned scholar, Parama Vidwan. Actually, the most important science is to know or to know is the science of getting out of the clutches of material existence. Anyone who knows, the science must be considered the greatest learned person. Anyone who knows the temporary situation of this material world and is expert in achieving a permanent situation in the spiritual world, who knows that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is beyond the jurisdiction of our experimental knowledge, is understood to be the most learned scholar. Haridas Thakur knew this science perfectly. Therefore, he is described in this connection as Parama Vidwan. He personally preached the importance of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which is approved by the revealed scriptures, as stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.24. Idi pumsarpita Vishnu bhakti che naro lakshana yeta bhagavati adda tanmanye ditamuttamam. There are 9 different processes of devotional service to Krishna, the most important being Shravanam Kirtanam, hearing and chanting. Haridas Thakur knew this science very well, and he can therefore be called technically Sarva Shastra Viti. Anyone who has learned the essence of all the Vedic scriptures is to be known as first-class educated person with full knowledge of all Shastra. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Slakhe Chaksuruntamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namo Usthapana Boga Simi Japta Swami Charapata Kupaltana Gurgadamna Nagaragamna Namo Usthapana Boga Simi Bhaktivedanta Swami. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nirvishesha Sunyavadiva Satya Desani. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, thank you all for coming to this morning's lecture. It's supposed to be Bhagavatam because Haridas Thakur's disappearance day, the very auspicious day. So we are talking a little bit of Haridas Thakur. It also happens to be the appearance day of Bhakticharu Maharaj. Any Bhakticharu Maharaj disciples here? So we'll just touch a little bit on Bhakticharu Maharaj too, the great Vaishnava. So introduction, we have to always talk about philosophical inquiry and critical thinking. Basically, nowadays people are more interested in the sciences, isn't it? We talk about philosophy. They think it's a waste of time. Some of you may have the experience. What are you doing chanting Hare Krishna? Get a job. Why didn't you go to university? Why go to IIT? Do something useful. Why are you wasting your time? Isn't it? You may face that. Your family members might tell you, why are you wasting your time? That's because of avidya. They don't know the actual science. Science is actually, they think it's an abstract discipline with no knowledge. Some mumbo jumbo, Hare Krishna, jumping up and down, but nothing much. They think it's just a waste of time. Majority think like that. So at least we should know. Now, philosophy was considered the topmost knowledge for 2,500 years. For 2,500 years, philosophy is knowledge. Only now all this has come out. Now, and that is why even today, if you do science, if you do chemistry, biology, you get a PhD, Doctor of Philosophy, Chemistry, Doctor of Philosophy, Botany. They should do SCD, Doctor of Science, isn't it? That is why it's still, that practice is still going on. So, this is not a small difference, it's a major difference. Of course, nowadays, for silly things, I come from Australia, a lot of students from here go to Australia to study, masters and PhD program. They will put you in one room, they'll give you a computer and you die with it. After 2 years, they will give you one paper. What is this PhD? People will do all kinds of research. We have Juhu beach here, then there is Warsaw beach here. Somebody will do. They will do comparative study of the ocean water in Juhu and the ocean water in Warsaw. And then 2 years he'll be writing, salty, this, that, some difference. And then he'll get PhD. That's how cheap it is. A friend of mine would say, PhD means permanent head damage. That's it. So, we have to understand it's nothing fantastic. It's all hyped. It's all hyped. So many things. The material world is like that. The material world is hyped up, thinking that so much of fun here. So, when we talk about, now we're talking in philosophy, there is Tattva, there is Paratattva, there is Mahatattva. Tattva means speaker understands what is speaking. Now the audience also understands what I am speaking. Up to now, are you understanding what I am speaking? I think so. So we are safe. Paratattva, speaker understands, but the audience doesn't understand. They are just sitting there, but they'll be thinking, when is the next movie, what time I'll go home, thoughts like that. Now, the third one is Mahatattva. Speaker also doesn't understand what he's speaking. Audience also doesn't understand what he's speaking. Everybody's here for some time. But speaking about philosophy, my teacher, my chemistry professor used to tell us, the whole class, philosophy is like searching in a dark room. A blind man. It starts off with that. It's a blind man. That's why we are blind man in a dark room, searching for a black cat. Which is not there. The cat is not there. So they think that philosophy means just a waste of time. That's what you're doing. But Prabhupada makes us understand. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakya Chak Surulimnatimena Tasmai Shri Guruyam. He said this, our vision, we got cataract, blindness. Because of the darkness of ignorance we have. So he gave us the torch of knowledge. That is why we are all reading today. Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad-gita. He gave us the torch of knowledge. And by which, what can we see? We are able to see, not looking for a black cat, but we are looking for a black person, Shama Sundar. The three went in three places. And once you have Shama Sundar, then everything else is a waste of time. So you have to understand like that. Now talking about Paratattva, I have to tell you this story. I'm from the south. So here in the south, you all have heard of Ramanujacharya. His principal disciple was Kuresha. Kuresha's son is Parasara Bhaktar. In the Sri Sampradaya, Parasara is a very popular name. Why so? Parasara is the father of Vyasa. And just like Srimad Bhagavatam, we follow Srimad Bhagavatam, written by Vyasa. They follow Vishnu Puran, which is written by Parasara Muni. So because of that, they are very attached to Parasara. Lord, every house will have a Parasara, more or less. Now this Parasara Bhakta was a great guru. In the sense, he was a teacher, he had a lot of students. So every day, there will be two people are passing by. One is a learned scholar. He is probably a Smarta Brahmana. And he is passing by his place, his teaching place, his house, with lots of disciples. So this morning we saw Maharaj came and so many of his disciples, like that, all following after him. And there was one more, Grihastha Brahmana, very poor man, hardly anything, tattered clothes, holes all over, and he's passing by. Both of them are passing by the house every day. So Parasara Bhaktar will invite the Grihastha Brahmana, who is very poor, invite him in the house. Please come in, please come in. And then he was so poor, so sometimes he'll give bhoga, sometimes prasad, whatever is available. And that man dutifully accepts it, thanks it, goes away. But the students, disciples, we are the disciples. We have always all doubts, we'll have doubts. So the disciples, Parasara's disciples, not the other, what did they say, Smartha Brahmana's disciples. Parasara, Guruji, what is this? You are showing disparity. That Guru is coming, he is so powerful, so many disciples, you don't even say hello to him. And this Guru, every day you are calling him. And said, why is it so? So Parasara will say, you will get the answer tomorrow. The next day, when this so-called Smartha Brahmana with his disciples passing by, Parasara ran and invited, please come into my humble abode. So invited him into the house. And then, after some time, exchanging some niceties, then he said, who is Paratattva? Parasara he is Parasara Bhattar, is asking the Smartha Brahmana, who is Paratattva? And the man said, that's the thing I'm still searching. I am also not sure who is Paratattva. In Sanskrit, they say, Paratattva Namakim. Who is he and what's his name? Paratattva Namakim. And he said, I'm still searching. And that's it. Then this poor Brahmana comes in. And he comes and invites him. He gives him some food, all that. And then we have got one question. He said, yes, who is Paratattva? The minute that Brahmana heard that, he took his bowl and threw onto the wall. He was very angry. He said, what kind of guru are you? You don't even know who is Paratattva. And you got so many students, you are teaching them. What are you teaching them? And then he said, of course, Paratattva. Lord Vishnu is known as Ranganath, Srirangam. He said, Lord Vishnu is Paratattva. And teach them properly. And he walked off. And then Parasara Bhakta says, now you know what is the difference. So Prabhupada explains this. Searching for God, it's called theosophy. Studying about God is called theology. Here in Hare Krishna, we are not searching. We have finished searching and we have come to Juhu beach. Now we are studying about Krishna. We are studying about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Some doubts may come, but that's where we are. At least we should know where we stand. So also, now a small point here, that in the first canto, Bhagavatam, 1-8, it is mentioned that there are many Mahatmas, there are yogis, jnanis, karmis, and he says, you can execute your religious principles according to dharma, dana, tapa, kriya, charity, severe penances and all that. But it's also mentioned that if you do not approach Vasudeva, you do all that, but there is no Krishna, isn't it? A lot of people are doing a lot of things. You go out there, so many people are doing so many things. According to Bhagavatam, not according to us, according to Bhagavatam, if you're doing all that, you're executing all the religious principles, sometimes some people will come into ISKCON, then they will say, why you're not fasting, not enough. Your fasting is not enough. You should fast more, like that. So like that, if you execute all these religious principles, and if you forget Krishna, then Shama eva kevalam, which means simply wasting time. So you do all that and you don't have Krishna. Now, of course, now we come to our great Acharya, Namacharya, Sri Haridas Thakur. He knew everything. That's why in this verse, he is called Paramavidwan. Haridas Thakur was not only the topmost devotee of the Lord, but also a great and learned scholar. It was his great fortune that he passed away before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He left a body before Mahaprabhu. He also was blessed. He is no ordinary personality. Just like Bhishma. Bhishma was on the deathbed, but he waited. He could choose any time to leave, but he waited for Krishna to come. Seeing Krishna, he left. Similarly, Haridas Thakur also was planning. Now, before we understand a little bit about the Leela, Haridas Thakur's Leela, we have to understand what is the science that we are talking about? You know, so we keep saying Krishna consciousness. The science Prabhupada says that, isn't it? Krishna consciousness is science. It's not sentiment, it's a science. What is the meaning of science? Science means it can be verified. Truth must be established. Eating meat is bad for health. Forget about Krishna. Drinking alcohol is bad for health, isn't it? That's the truth. You believe in Krishna or not, gambling is bad. Certainly bad. You lose everything. We saw in Mahabharata how bad it was. Illicit sex, of course, so many diseases you can get. So you'll find that the Vedic principles are establishing truth. If you go to the Western countries in America and all that, every mall will have a yoga center. I'm not talking about Krishna conscious yoga. They're talking some yoga, but yoga comes from the Vedas. People are becoming vegetarians, people are becoming vegans, people are believing in reincarnation, people are burning their bodies, they don't want to bury their bodies. If you look at all this, it is all because of truth. There is truth behind it. So, Jai SriSriRadhaRasbihari ki jai, Jai Sitaram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman ki jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. So, this is the sign. So, before we understand more, let us understand what is the problem here. General people think they are very independent. We all think that's what people out say, oh, you are stuck, Hare Krishna, you can't do so many things. We can do anything we want, we are independent. But the truth is, we are dependent on the laws of nature. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Doshana Darshanam. Whatever you do, this will come after you. You know, you can't stop it. So that is one thing. So, to understand further, we are actually trapped in the material bodies. This body, this is not your body. You're not the body and there is soul within you. No. You are the soul and you're stuck in the body. So you have to understand like that. Now, and when the Vedas are describing all this, the three subject matters, this is very important. We do it in a different way, but in the Vedic scriptures it is done differently. We do the same thing differently. So what are the three subject matters? There is Achit, Chit and Ishvara. Achit means non-conscious, matter. So matter, spirit and controller. Matter you understand, the spiritual world, the spiritual body. Spirit, you and I, the birds, bees, all the living entities. They are the Chit particles. And then finally you have Ishvara, the controller. He is supremely independent. We have limited independence. We can't do everything you want. Supposing now we want to, this is Juhu temple, we want to extend the temple. We can't just simply extend the temple across the road. Your independence is there. You can jump and run around, do all that. Supposing we all go onto the road and jump, the police will come. Isn't it? And hey, what are you doing? You're obstructing traffic, get out. You can't say, no, we have independence. Your independence is limited. So, trapped in this body. So, according to the Vedas, if you're discussing serious knowledge, then the three subject matters must be there. For instance, science, they don't believe in God is not there. They don't believe in soul. They just believe in you, the body, and the world. So, they're only studying that. So, according to the Vedic standards, that's rejected as poor knowledge. That's not good knowledge. Good knowledge. Buddha, for instance, rejected God, rejected the soul. No God, no Atman, both none. So when we study, we say, no, it's poor fund of knowledge. Not we, Vedic stand. According to the Vedas, it is not. So the truth is what? We are trapped in this body. It's like a prison cell. You're thrown into a prison cell. How to get out of the prison cell? Counting the bars. That will not take you out of the cell. That's sitting there and then you just count the bars or sing a tune or something. No, you have to do certain things. Similarly here, we are stuck in this body. To get out, we have to perform bhakti. This is the system. And by performing bhakti, then only you will get the key. If you are in the cell, in a prison cell, you must get the key. And the key is with the prison warden. So if you please the prison warden and you become very nice to him, then one day he may open the key to you. Sometimes the prison warden might even give you the key. Good boy, here, keep the key, and you'll walk out. Then what you have to do? You cannot play around with the key. You must take the key and open the cell and get out. Sometimes we come to Krishna consciousness. This is another example. The reason for telling that is you're already in Krishna consciousness. The key is in your hand. So now don't play around with it. Use it properly and avoid distractions, and then you can get out of this place. So for bhakti, what you are supposed to do? 9 processes are there. Shravanam, Kirtanam. Shravanam is hearing and Kirtanam is chanting. So both are very important. The beginning. And then of course association, all that. Now when you do this, then, and who is the expert on this field is Haridas Thakur. So here he has made it into art and he has given it to the whole world, made it simple for all of us. So that is why the importance of Haridas. So we'll find out more, but that is the philosophy. Now let's find out more about Haridas Thakur himself. In the Navadip Mahatmya, Navadip Dham Mahatmya. Now this book is very important for Gaudiyas, for us. Some people might not accept it, doesn't matter, but for us it's very important. So here all the acharyas, how they come and meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the 4 sampradayas, all of them have a personal darshan, so many interesting things are there. Anyway, here in this particular instance, remember the story in Bhagavatam when Brahma hid the cows, the cowherd boys and the cows, testing Krishna. So he took them away for a moment and Krishna depressed. You know that. But he was so embarrassed later on when it was the real Krishna himself. So it is said in this Navadip Dham Mahatmya that Brahma goes to Mayapur, present Mayapur. He goes there and then he's praying to the Lord. When he's praying to the Lord, Gaura Hari appears. And Gaura Hari appears and he says, yes, don't worry about it. In my next Leela, you will play a very, very important, in my next advent, you will play an important role in my pastimes. And so, but he said, because of this impurity of being puffed up or whatever, so I will place you in a different situation. You will take birth in a family of Muslims. So when you take birth in a family of Muslims, then you will not be so proud. And ultimately, of course, you will go back after my Leelas. So now, when Haridas Thakur, it is mentioned, Haridas Thakur and Nityananda, Prabhu, both of them were the big first acharyas for the Sankirtan department. They were the ones going around chanting this mantra, giving to everybody. It is mentioned Nityananda Prabhu is knocking the door, and somebody opens the door and says, nobody there. But Nityananda Prabhu is on the floor, holding the feet. Please, Hari Bol, please chant Hare Krishna, please chant Hare Krishna. So like that, they went door to door begging people to chant Hare Krishna, because knowing the importance. So we have understood all that. So now Thakur was born in a place called Buran, Khulna district, Bangladesh now. So now what happened is when they were going around preaching the holy name, some Smartha Brahmanas as usual were not happy and they complained to the Kadi that, this is not Hindu, this is not Hinduism at all. Because they always want to hold a monopoly, they must do the rituals, make the money out of you. And here he says, don't waste all time, chant Hare Krishna, you become happy. So they said, this is dangerous for our business. So they complained to the Muslim Qadi. The Qadi wanted to take action. So long story short, he gives there is a summary trial, and he said to be beaten in 22 marketplaces until he dies. So he was taken to 22 places and beaten with the whip. It is also mentioned that every time he got the whip, the pain went to Mahaprabhu. There was a mark on Mahaprabhu's back. It is mentioned like that. So anyway, but 22 marketplaces, he still didn't die. That is Haridas Thakur, who is Brahma himself. And so what happened? So he said, okay, throw him in the prison. So they threw him into the prison. He was in the prison. And there, when he went, the other prisoners saw this effulgent figure coming in. Prabhupada says that when you practice Krishna consciousness sincerely, truly, you get two benefits. One is the tejas. The tejas, the brightness in the face, actually, and the ojas, the energy. You can see devotees can do so many things. See some of the Maharajas, they're so old, but they can build huge temples. How do they do it? You want to buy a small little thing, you are getting so many problems. And they big temples coming up. So these ojas and tejas. So when Haridas went into the prison, the prisoners, seeing Haridas, they all felt a bit of a vibrant energy. And of course, it's a prison house, so they all paid obeisances to him and hoping to get some blessings from Haridas. But Haridas said, just remain as you are. So they were not happy. We are in the prison. We thought this Babaji will give some benediction. We'll get out of prison quickly. But Babaji says, just remain as you are. And they all disappointed, almost in tears. So Haridas Thakur understood. So he said, no, when you saw me and when you prostrated before me, I could see that you have love for Krishna. So what I'm trying to say is, you must have this love for Krishna always and not be worried about anything else. I remember about 10-15 years ago, I went with my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Japtal Swami. I went in Tiruchi, he was in Tiruchi, South India. He was going into a prison. So we went to prison. There was a male prison and there is a female prison. Same place, but different sections. So the male section is different. The female section, of course, they all crowding around Guru Maharaj and falling and crying and all that. So they all were saying, Swami, Swamiji, how bless us, how to get out of this place. And most of them were passionate crimes, killing the husband because husband did something bad, things like that. Some of them had their children there too. I don't know how it works, but I saw that. So anyway, so I was very interesting. Suddenly Guru Maharaj said, outside is also prison. Don't think outside is not prison. That's also prison. So what is important is you must chant Hare Krishna. And then he thought that Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. So Haridas Thakur, being born Muslim, he could not enter the temple of Jagannath Puri temple. So if Mahaprabhu wanted, he could have taken him at that time. Because Mahaprabhu was very, very well known. He was the king Prataparudra. He himself was an assistant to him. Is that Prataparudra or something else, somebody else? Nobody knows very good. I escaped. I think it is Prataparudra. Anyway, the king, if he just told the king, give him permission to come, so definitely the king would have ordered. But Mahaprabhu refused to do it because he wanted to follow protocol. Because there was a custom that, non-Hindus should not be allowed. That's a big story because of the attack and all that. Anyway, so then Mahaprabhu told him, you stay here. See, can you see the chakra, the Puri temple chakra? You can see that? So that's it. Every day, darshan. For you, that's darshan. No need to come to the temple. And he said, as for prasad, my remnants, my own remnants, whatever I've eaten, the remnants I will send to you. Every day, one devotee will come and give you. So you do this. So, so that was a very nice, happy arrangement. And he was there. It is known as the Siddha Bakula. If you go to Puri, this is the Bhajan Kutir of Haridas Thakur. So, how the Lord makes perfect arrangements, like it says in the Bhagavad-gita, Yoga Shemam Aham Yaham. What you don't have, I will give, I'll protect. What you have, I protect. And what you lack, I will give. So this way, Mahaprabhu protected him. So one day, this is all very happy, nice arrangement going on like this. One day, Mahaprabhu came to see Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur is already frail, is getting old, and he's chanting very softly, very slowly, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. And all the food remnants are there, not taken. So he asked, Haridas, what is happening? You are not eating? How can you maintain yourself? You are not eating. So he said, Mahaprabhu, I have to finish. We all know that Haridas Thakur chanted 300 rounds a day. We are forming to finish 16 rounds. So he says, no, my mind and my intelligence, they are not steady. He said, why? Because I can't finish my rounds. Because I can't finish my rounds, then I don't want to take prasad. Normally what we'll do, we'll make sure we take prasad and then try to finish our rounds. And if we don't finish our rounds, we'll carry forward the next day, like that. But Haridas Thakur was the other way around. He wanted to finish his rounds. And then he said, I know you're going to wind up your pastime. He's telling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you're going to wind up. But I don't want to go after you have left. I want to go before you go. Then Mahaprabhu is listening to him intently. He said, okay, I will see you tomorrow. Now this whole episode is a very long episode. If you read it, it's very, very sad. It can make you cry. And the way the whole thing is explained. But I'm just, time factor, I'm just giving you the summary. So what happened was, the next day Mahaprabhu came, and then he said, I am ready to go. Haridas Thakur. Then he's telling that I want to take the dust from the feet of all the Vaishnavas and put on my forehead. I want to take your feet and put on my chest. And I want to, three things he says. I want to chant your holy names and what is that? And my eyes. So the feet on my chest, my eyes gazing at you, and my tongue, my mouth chanting Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, like that. That's what he wanted. So Mahaprabhu arranged it, and all of them, there were devotees all crying all over. And then he took the feet, and then when everybody is chanting, and suddenly the chanting became louder and louder, and then Haridas Thakur left his body. And before that, Mahaprabhu is mentioned, Mahaprabhu, this Vaishnavas, you must glorify the Vaishnavas. Why must we glorify the Vaishnavas? We glorify the Vaishnavas because Krishna will be pleased. And when Krishna is pleased, we will get blessings. So we all tend to find faults, but we must tend to glorify Vaishnavas. That should be the way. Everybody has faults, nobody is without faults. So now, Mahaprabhu himself, imagine the Supreme Lord is glorifying his devotee. And when he is speaking, it is mentioned that as if 5 mouths are speaking at the same time. It is mentioned a couple of times, like 5 mouths, Mahaprabhu. So, this is how the Lord is glorifying. And finally, he left the body. Then Mahaprabhu carried Haridas Thakur. And then he was jumping and dancing with the dead body. All this is happening where? In the Siddhapakula. Then finally they erect some kind of a palanquin. They put the body there. And from the Bhajan Kutte, they go to the ocean. And Mahaprabhu himself does the final rites. Takes him into the ocean, bathing. Even the ocean, the devotees, so many interesting things. And finally, put back. And it is mentioned that Mahaprabhu himself personally was digging the shore, the sand, out, making a hole. And finally placing Haridas Thakur there on the shore. Also Jagannath's remnants. That means from Puri temple, they brought some prasad, some silk satin cloth. All this was also there. They put everything there together with, like we have Pushpa Samadhi and like that. So everything was done, and they had a rousing kirtan. After which they all went back to Puri town. They went to the shopkeepers, begged for Bhoga and prasad, because they also sell prasad. And Mahaprabhu himself supervised the whole thing. And there was a big feast. And all of them were chanting, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And then they served the great food. So, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam Ki, Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. I should say, Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Thy Gaur Premanande. So, two things I want to tell you is, one is, of course, that today is also the appearance day, the Vyasa Puja for Bhakticharu Maharaj. So Bhakticharu Maharaj is another. These are all the miracles of Prabhupada. So we don't have to worry about miracles. It's all created. Prabhupada himself is the biggest miracle, and he created so many miracles, which is going on, and we should be happy with it. Now, at one point in this is happening in Europe, in France. One of the beautiful properties in France is a what do you call a castle, very beautiful. I've been there. It's a beautiful castle, nice deities and all that. So they did not pay the bank, and there was a foreclosure. Bank, you don't pay. What do you call that? EMI? Do they call it EMI? Monthly payment, something like that. You call it monthly installment. They didn't pay, so the bank. So that's okay. That's all fair. Now, though, they sounded as worse. Oh, we lost the temple. So all over the world, people sending money to bring. So we collected the money. But the bank made one condition. They will not sell to ISKCON. That was the condition. Only in France, I think this will happen. Anybody else, a banker, you give me the money, take back the house, isn't it? But no, not to ISKCON, because they are fried with ISKCON. Some devotees don't know what happened. I don't know about all that. But they were so angry with ISKCON. So they're wondering how to solve the problem. So Bhakticharu Maharaj, you can see the picture. Maharaj in that house, that castle went for auction. Bhakticharu Maharaj went for the auction. He was dressed in a 3-piece suit. Just imagine Maharaj taking this position with a big tie, projecting himself like a big businessman, as if he's from the Hinduja family or something like that. He went there and they didn't know, and he was bidding. I don't know the amount. I think maybe 500,000 francs or something like that. Bidding, and they won the auction. So he came, and then all the particulars and all that. We know that he is part of the Hare Krishna thing. And so that was one of his biggest contributions. Of course, much later the bankers found out. They were annoyed. But it's too late. It's all legality. Another personal, I'm from Malaysia, so personal, now I'm in Australia, personal relationship with Maharaj a couple of times. The most interesting one is about I'm sure you all heard about what's that series of, the Prabhupada series that Abhay Charan, that's right, Abhay Charan. So Abhay Charan was shot here and Maharaj was involved here all the time. So the original copies they wanted to make into the DVDs, the first. So Maharaj was scouting around where to do it, and then they were happy to do it in Malaysia. So the first copies were made in Malaysia. And then I was traveling to Mayapur. So the regional secretary in Malaysia, he said, he said, this is the thing. I don't, not to give to anybody, I just give directly to Maharaj, hence it's very important. I said, okay. I said, I'll get a chance to meet Maharaj, I can have a chat with him. So we took it there into Mayapur, and of course, to see my Maharaj, there is like a fortress, like you have to go through so many secretaries are there. No, you can't see Maharaj, have you got an appointment, this, that. And all of them are telling me, then I said, no, I got Abhay Charan, it's very important, I have to give to Maharaj. Okay, you give it to me, I will give it. I said, no, I'm strictly told not to give it to you. So finally they allowed, because Abhay Charan they allowed, otherwise they kicked me out. So finally when I went there and Maharaj came and I said, I'm here for this. Maharaj was so, I could see the joy in his face. Not because he's seeing me, the joy he saw the whole, the copies, and he was so excited, and of course he told me to sit down and have, I said, no Maharaj, I just wanted to deliver this, and I left. So that's how much dedication they have for, and the love for Prabhupada they have. So I'll end here. It stays very quickly, 8 a.m. to 9, 10 a.m., including questions and answers. So if anybody has got a question, if I confused anybody, you can ask me or can try and answer. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. Yes. You want a mic? Oh, sorry.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. There was a picture we saw Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj and Jayapataka Swami Maharaj were hugging each other in the Ganga in Mayapur. Can you narrate the incident of that, if you remember?
No. Yeah, I mean, I was not there in Ganga. That maybe some servants might, Mahavara, somebody could tell. So, but I've seen Guru Maharaj hugging so many of the sannyasis, even Bhakti Maharaj in Malaysia. And there was once when they came to my little town, it's called Tilakintan, and Prabhupada had visited that place and stayed one night. So it's called a Tirtha. My first meeting, Bhakti Jayapataka Swami and Bhakti Charu Maharaj was then. The three of them came, four actually, Prabhu Vishnu Maharaj and the Malaysian sannyasi. So they came to Tilakintan and they were going through from north to south, so they came to our place. And they came to see a temple. Somebody had offered a Ram temple, which was not properly taken care of. And they wanted to go and see the temple. I was not involved with ISKCON at that time. I didn't know what was going on. They used to come to my mother's house. My mother being a very strict vegetarian, the devotees used to come and stay there. So that's why the connection, and then I happened to be there. And then so I took them to the temple and all that. So many times we have seen Guru Maharaj is always hugging and making them happy. So there are so many things like that. That's nature, and showing the happiness between Vaishnavas. So I can't exactly tell what happened in Vrindavan. Now it's not there.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Anybody else? Kantarat Srimad Chaitanya Charitamrita ki, Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Gaur Premanande.